Well, there are concerns that Mpumalanga may be a hub for human trafficking. It is believed women and children are being smuggled through the province from neighbouring countries. So the Human Rights Commission has been looking into the issue. Let's discuss this latest report now with its Mpumalanga manager, Eric Mokonyama. Eric, thank you so much for your time this morning. I mean, from what we understand is that the actual impact on human trafficking and the way that COVID-19 has subsequently assisted, one would say, in having this prevalence of human trafficking is one that has gone to a place where it just can't be ignored. Just how prevalent is human trafficking, and what does it mean for Mpumalanga to be considered as a gateway for human trafficking?
Good morning, Faith. Good morning to your viewers as well. Human trafficking is a very worrying phenomenon lately in the province. As you know, Mpumalanga is bordered by Swaziland and Mozambique, and indeed it's being used by traffickers to traffic, persons from those countries and other African neighboring countries. So we are very worried as the Commission, and as a result, we embarked on a dialogue late last year with a number of stakeholders, including the Mpumalanga Provincial Task Team, to look into the matter, and that culminated into a report which we launched early this week.
Eric, which specific countries now are the ones where we're finding that a lot of these women and children are being trafficked to?
It's all over the show, Faith. Remember, trafficking is not an event, it's a process. So you would often find it difficult to really track it to a specific country. People are trafficked from one country to or through numerous other countries to a particular destination. So, but it's really prominent, particularly around countries in Africa, and most of these people appear to be coming from those countries or from countries in Africa.
Yeah, which specific countries? I mean, if we're bordering, for example, right, in Mpumalanga, it's just its natural position. We've got the likes of Mozambique, we've got Eswatini. So within that, are they coming from those countries? Where specifically are we feeling? Because it's an issue around border control as well, right? So when they're coming into the country and they've got girls, or the other way around, where South Africa's taking girls outside of the country, there are those specific countries where there's the frequency. And I'm trying to understand this frequency thereof. Where would the frequency be in this case?
Thanks for that question, Faith. Yes, as Mpumalanga, the frequency would be from the two neighboring countries, Mozambique and Swaziland. And we have also partnered with the International Organization for Migration, which is very helpful in terms of tracking these cases and helping the province to address them.
How is the province actually actively addressing it, in your opinion, Eric? I mean, I understand and I can appreciate the fact that you've, initiated even a dialogue. You've looked into it as the Human Rights Commission. You've advocated for a provincial task team. But one would look at it and say, well, surely at this point in time, we need to go beyond just dialoguing, right? So in terms of those effective steps that can be taken to mitigate against this and to intervene, and effectively so, what else can be done?
The South African Police Service, the Department of Justice, some of the stakeholders in the task team I've just mentioned. It was actually established in 2009. So what has been happening is just a need for collaboration amongst all those stakeholders to ensure that human trafficking is prevented as opposed to being dealt with after the fact. So these stakeholders are continuously engaging. There's a meeting in Mozambique on the 30th of March where some of these stakeholders will be in attendance. And the plan really is to make sure that efforts by all the stakeholders are coordinated and we work collaboratively, because there's no way any or one of these stakeholders will be able to deal with this stage.
Yeah. On that note, that saying that there's no ways that one entity will be able to deal with that urge, do you think that the SAPS has got enough capacity to be able to handle this and intervene? Because it speaks of beyond just SAPS, it also speaks to just, as I said, border control. It speaks to the Department of Home Affairs and the like, and everybody that is interlinked. So do they have enough strength to take on human trafficking, especially as you've mentioned that some of these neighbouring countries, dialogues need to be held in their respective countries to see how we can intervene?
Even enough capacity on SAP's side alone will not be helpful. As I was saying, or you mentioning that, the Department of Home Affairs, the Department of Defense, the Department of Social Development, authorities from these neighboring countries will also have to play their role, and even civil society at large. Because one of the challenges we have picked up is around reporting. If these issues are not reported, and when they are reported, they are not followed up, we will not find it easy really to deal with this challenge, because it's very complicated. And as I said, it's a process. There are many parties involved. There are beneficiaries in terms of traffickers. So we all need to put our heads and our hands together towards ensuring that we are able to deal with this problem.
Is there political will, in your opinion, to be able to deal with this? Because, as you're saying, there are countries that are involved, right? I understand having engagements in Mozambique, but what about the Kingdom of Eswatini? Are those engagements being held there if they are such an earmarked country where this is actually happening between South Africa as well as Eswatini? And is there political will to even intervene, and to intervene effectively? Because that would mean going back to the countries and saying, why is it that girls are coming in, or coming back to South Africa and say, why is it that girls from South Africa and children from South Africa are coming from South Africa and going into your country? So is government willing to have those kinds of, what one would imagine, very difficult conversations?
Faith, from where we are sitting, there is a political will. Actually, Eswatini is going to be part of the engagement on the 30th of March. And these engagements are meant to rotate, amongst these countries, so that there is that collaboration I was referring to. There is no way, as I indicated, that South Africa alone can successfully deal with this problem, and there is no way any other of these neighboring countries will be able to deal with this problem alone. So the countries need to collaborate, authorities in those countries need to collaborate, and civil society should really be of assistance to those authorities in terms of reporting, and all of us, following up on these cases, so that ultimately we are able to get successful prosecutions, and traffickers are made to, pay a price for this crime they are committing against vulnerable groups in society.
All right, we'll leave it there. Eric Mokonyama there from the South African Human Rights Commission. He's the provincial manager there from the Mpumalanga province. But of course,